15 minutes of racing then for the Locost Championship. The Yokohama Locost Championship gets underway at Oulton Park now. And Lewis Ward may have struggled in the standing water. He does, because George Grice is the first car to head past us, although through the water splash, that was Lewis Ward as well. And Ward has lost time as a result of that and another position. So Grice, for the first time down the avenue, takes this huge pack of low-cost cars. But imagine what it's like right in the middle with all this spray churning up around them, and just a matter of muscle memory to know precisely where to turn in at Cascades. I reckon that is the poleman, Lewis Ward, now down to 4th position.
Yeah, that's a rough start there, but he's kept himself out of trouble. They've all kept it clean through the first couple of corners, so well done to all of the low-cost drivers there. George Grice got a nice little gap there. He made the best of the getaway, and he's obviously got the best of the visibility too, so he'll be hoping to make use of that on this early going.
You can see how much rain is still coming down from our locked-off camera at Shell Oil's hairpin. And, well, neatly sideways for 5th place there, scrapping away for 5th and 6th, actually. We'll identify those cars at the end of the first lap, probably. But Lewis Ward working his way through Britain's in that 4th position. So George Grice got through. Tortulla got through. He's now 2nd, and that might be Jack Linus in 3rd position. Yes, it is, in the 13 car, and Linus now shaping up Tulla for a pass into Hislops. Doesn't quite work on this occasion, but because of the concertina effect, it means Lewis Ward is right back with them. Lewis Ward only out-qualifying George Grice by 0.02 of a second in drier conditions this morning. It wasn't fully dry. But I'm not surprised that Lewis Ward, having lost those places initially, has the lap speed to fight back immediately.
Yeah, it's an intriguing battle that as they head up to Druids. First time at racing speed. It's usually much more slippery up there than it is everywhere else on the track. But our leaders got through it nice and cleanly. George Grice making a bit of a gap there. We've got a good tussle on for 2nd. It's Linus up to 2nd on the exit of Druids. And Grice just getting away a little bit.
Linus might have made that pass around the outside of Druids. I wonder whether there's enough grip there on the karting type line. And down the inside of Tulla goes Lewis Ward. So he's got one of those places back again in the black car with the blue roll cage. And Linus, as you say, up to 2nd position in number 13. So it is leading the first lap. George Grice, then Jack Linus. Then after that move into the final corner, Lewis Ward, and Tortulla, who had been 2nd for much of that opening lap, finds himself down in 4th position, followed by Jake Sturt, and in 6th place in the early stages is Daniel Russell. So they're the two more. And now at the first corner, in the classic movement that we've seen for much of the day already, Glyn Griffiths is in the gravel. Now he's a bit closer to the racing line in the gravel trap rather than being right up against the tyre wall. So this might be more of a substantial decision to make from a race direction point of view.
Yeah, and it's very early in the race as well, so possibly they could scramble a safety car clear and get going again, but they're just covering it under yellows for now. Glyn's out of the car and walking away, so he's fine. But the car is very close to the track there, isn't it, Johnny?
The concern is that it's just a bit further around the corner as well, so more likely for cars to fall off at that point. I like Glyn's matching helmet to the paint scheme on that car. Just a shame we're not going to see it for the rest of this race, but hopefully not too much damage. He'll have to rake quite a few stones out of the number 31 car before it's racing again. And the inset picture shows the recovery. So the marshals maybe are going to attempt that. Meanwhile, we're still racing, and it's side by side as Linus goes up the curb to try and get ahead of George Grice on the brakes. That could have gone horribly wrong. And it is a safety car, by the way, as meanwhile, here comes Lewis Ward with a totally different and illegal line, but acknowledgement now that the safety car boards are out, the yellow flags at Clay Hill. And it might be that Lewis Ward is asked to give one of those positions back again because he rejoined at a fair rate of knots, although I presume he zigzagged his way through those plastic boxes. But now some acknowledgement that we're going to go caution. That's because of Glyn Griffiths' car, which is being tended to by the marshals. Glyn got out of it very, very quickly. Well, this is a big helping hand to Lewis Ward, even though he might be in a slightly false position of 3rd. I don't want to say that too earnestly. But he will have at the restart the two in front of him at touching distance.
Yeah, I did joke with the safety car drivers, Jono and Chris Baines earlier, that they might lead the most laps today. So impressive that we've made it to the first race after lunch for the first safety car of the day. But hopefully we can get this one cleared up quickly. It's not too far from the track. It's not gone into the barriers. So hopefully we've only got a couple of minutes of downtime and we can get going racing soon.
Well, George Grice will be desperate for a race win. He's never won a race before and has only had hasn't had a podium, a low-cost podium, since 2020. So it's been quite a wait to get a top 3 result. Clearly he's got a quick car this weekend and is liking the wet weather conditions, the unconventional lines. Recovery very quickly descending on the scene. We're kind of getting quite used to this now. We've had a car off virtually every single race at Old Hall and in the gravel trap. So that is being delicately moved. And here is the Hyundai safety car that has picked up the race leader, George Grice, with Jack Linus second. Third position, Lewis Ward, after taking to the escape road at Hislop's Knickerbrook. Tor Tuller fourth, ahead of Jake Sturt and the 57 car of Daniel Russell. Obviously, for those in the middle order, this is denying them of laps because the clock continues to tick by. And we've had 6 minutes of the race so far.
Yeah, this is quite a smart decision though with race control and managing the safety car here. It's travelling very slowly, so hopefully if they can clear this car in the next minute or so, they'll be able to pick up the pace and just have this one lap behind the safety car. So that's it's smart. It's frustrating for the drivers because obviously they're tickling around at walking pace now and getting wet without any of the water travelling over them. But they'll appreciate it if they look into the decision making there. I think good job race control.
Yeah, a day like this is sort of an occupational hazard when you're driving low costs or indeed Mazda 7 Championship cars. You are open to the elements and so are the workings of the car, I suppose, as well. From a tyre perspective, I mean, are these pretty hard compound tyres? Are they grooved tyres? Well, they will be grooved tyres, of course, because it's a wet race. But we don't necessarily have to be worrying about temperature drop-off with these tyres.
Not so much with these. They're a kind of a road pattern on these tyres, so that's why they're not looking as leery as the Mazda 7s we saw earlier today. They're much closer to a road tyre on these cars, so we're not going to worry too much about temperature there. Possibly engine temperatures,
okay.
Just because these are basic systems running carburetors and what have you, so the fueling and everything will be set up to be running flat out, which obviously right now some of these cars are just at walking pace through the chicane, but they are towing the stricken Glyn Griffiths car. Well, they're trying to. It looks very well beached. I thought the pickup might have been able to drag it a bit harder than that, but I think we might be going round for another lap at this rate.
Well, the lights are still on. We will get an indication of whether we're going to get another safety car lap by about Druids. And in fact, the decision has been taken to stop the race, and that means that recovery can be done in a more meaningful fashion. Let's hope they can all get cleanly through Old Hall Corner for the first time of asking. The red lights are on. They go out now. That's a great getaway this time from Lewis Ward, learning from his mistake. How about 4 abreast further back, mind you? So everybody willing to get stuck in, and Ward will be in the lead. So the stoppage to this has worked a treat for Lewis Ward, having had pole position, having lost 3 places at the initial start. He's now got them all back again. And heading for Cascades, it's Ward that leads Linus. Then jinking out of line may well be Luke Stokes. Oh, but one straight on, and that is a former race leader in the earlier version of this, George Grice.
Oh, no.
So the number 3 car through the gravel, and how quickly Motorsport can deliver and then take it away from you immediately as the Jack Artist car is side by side. But, well, Lewis Ward was gutted at the earlier race start, I am sure, and was locking horns with so many of them, but now he leads.
Yeah, it's a good start there for Jake Sturt as well, up to 3rd place. That practice start on the formation lap obviously paying dividends. And he's hanging in there with the leaders. He's doing a good job.
Here's Ward, here's Linus in 2nd position, and yet killer getaway for the Jake Sturt car as they head out of Britain's, and the stream of spray from all 4 tyres of each of these low costs, at some cases floating on the top of the road surface. 4th position for Tor Tuller in the black and white car, and Tuller was up to 2nd place before the stoppage, but he's now in 4th place slightly different cars around him, in fairness. Grip levels out of Nicker Brook can't be excellent either. There's actually almost a semi-surface change coming out of there as well, as different parts of Oulton Park have been relayed at different times. A little bit of a gap emerging there as well. So these top 5 or 6 cars away and gone, and Linus does appear to be able to match the speed of Lewis Ward, which is something he couldn't quite do earlier in the day. They were separated by 0.8 of a second. Yeah,
he's picks up well there. He made a lot of ground through Druids. Ward seemed to understeer initially on turn in, so we'll see how that gap develops. Sturt, an aggressive defence of third place there from the number 90 car, Tortulla, but they're just dropping back a little bit from the leaders. They could probably do with trying to cooperate a little bit and close the gap, but I suspect with the podium on the line, it'll be more about the position at the time.
3 minutes and 25 seconds to go as they complete the first racing lap in this restarted Yokohama Locost Championship race. Half a second separates Lewis Ward and Jack Linus. Third position is Sturt, still getting signatures with another novice cross on the back. So I've mentioned some further towards the rear of the field, but the yellow and with a black cross indicated on the back of Sturt's car as well. You wouldn't know it necessarily, because he is keeping pace with the 2 in front and staving off Tortulla's advances down Island Straight and towards Island Bend, this tricky left-hander which offers a bit of camber as well. And it's definitely a quartet for the lead. Then the gap is back to number 57, Daniel Russell. And also involved there for 5th and 6th is Luke Stokes. But Linus right with the race leader.
That's right. There was a big move from Christopher Summers contesting 7th and 8th at the first corner there. I don't know if he managed to pick both positions, but very late on the brakes down the inside. The leaders coming through the chicane now. They have concertinaed back up a little bit, so perhaps message received for Jake Sturt to quit the defence and go after the leaders.
Yeah, and indication from the pit wall in that respect. Why not? Because he's been able to get the car off the line brilliantly well, too well actually, at the green flag lap. But that was a good practice. Tortulla looked like he had a couple of left side tyres on the grass there, but he did get the thing stopped and turned in at the right point. Feeling like you're in a power shower coming out of Hislots and Nicker Brook in these open cars. And the tail lights, the rain lights, essential as well, just to give everyone an indication of your whereabouts as they appear now through the aptly named Water Tower corner, the left-hander, and into the double right at Druids. Well controlled this from Lewis Ward. He could maybe go a bit faster, but I think it's a concerted effort, or a conservative effort, just getting the feel and working out where all the grip is not, as Tortulla now thinks about a move on Jake Sturt. They are 2 abreast as they arrive at Lodge Corner. Lots of twiddling of the wheel, but Sturt gives racing room just about, and Tuller is going to pull that move off, I think, up to 3rd position. He'll get the judgment over the line, yes, and it's sealed. Terrific overtake.
Nicely done. Just keep it calm for turn 1. He's gone in there very hot. Has made it out the other side, but did look to arrive there very quickly. Bit between the teeth now. We'll be on the final lap, so a 2-second gap sounds like a lot, but in these conditions, these things can change very quickly.
Too right, and we've seen that in the short period of time we've been on the air. In fact, with lots of action. Oh, and there's more of it, because down at the first corner, out of your view, a car is in the gravel and in the barrier. Very similar to Ben Powney's incident earlier on in the Mazda 7 Championship. So this is the final lap. There is the car we're speaking of. Not able to identify that helmet, I'm afraid, at this point. There is some movement from the driver involved, but the marshals will be quickly with them. Here's the lead fight. So Tortulla had got the 3rd position around the outside at Lodge. There's no difference in the gaps. We'll still be racing to the finish because the first corner are no longer involved for the leaders. They're well past that part of the race circuit, and they're free to race to the finish on this final lap.
Yeah, that two second gap had gone, hadn't it? The 4 lead, Sturt's not entirely out of this. If this battle continues like it is down to the chicane, looks like the 2 leaders are side by side with Linus on the outside, and Ward covering off the inside, nice and calm. It's nicely done.
Yeah. He didn't get fazed by that. Well experienced with drivers over his shoulder. But for sure, Linus was in his peripheral vision. Just needed to get the braking point right and the turn in as well. Clipped the Hislop's apex or apices correctly, but this time Linus's run up Clay Hill is much better, and they're side by side as they arrive at Druids. The next corner's a right-hander, which will definitely favour Jack Linus, and Linus in the orange, black and blue car takes the race lead with possibly no opportunity to fight back for Lewis Ward. Having said that, it's Lewis Ward, and he's pulled out a line under the Paul Warwick Bridge and down towards Lodge for the final time, and Ward gets the lead back again. Terrific action in the Yokohama Locost Championship race. It might be slightly shortened affair, but I did suggest this might be the best race of the day. It's certainly up there so far. Lewis Ward and Jack Linus, they're side by side. It's nip and tuck, and I think Linus got it, didn't he? No, Ward got it by 0.03 of a second. Terrific finish. Ward and Linus side by side, but the gap is 0.030 of a second. My word. Tortulla third, ahead of Jake Sturt in fourth. Fifth position was Daniel Russell, and sixth place was the number 66 car of Luke Stokes. They all carry transponders, these cars, and they're going to be totally sure that the transponders are in exactly the same position. I'm not quite sure it works like that these days, but that might have to be looked at as well from some sort of photograph, and we'll see whether that result is maintained. It's very difficult from our angle because we're a long way in front of the control line to judge that, but you can get closer than that, but it takes some doing.
Yeah, that was Linus did the right thing there. He laid back, he let Ward drive into the corner on that narrow line, and it just maybe got on the curb a little bit on the exit and just compromised his actual drive off the corner, which obviously didn't compromise it too much because he still made it up here side by side, but very close. Great racing between the two. A good podium for Tortulla, first of the season and fastest lap as well. Jake Sturt very close to that first podium, but a good effort in fourth place.
There's the gap then in numbers for you to see. 0.30 of a second separate winner Lewis Ward from Jack Linus. Tortulla was very close in third as well. Great race from Jake Sturt, who got up as high as third position. Daniel Russell, Luke Stokes were duking it out for fifth and sixth for much of the race, ahead of Chris Summers, number 88, and Sean Bram. Then Mark Rue and Daniel Grist completing the 10, ahead of Rory Mallinson, Ed Falkingham, William Jennings and Paul Clark. Alan Harmon next up. Jack Artis was higher than that actually, so he may have come a cropper or maybe had semi-involved with other incidents not of his own making. Steve Brown 17th, ahead of Glenn Boyer and Trevor Faunch. Then Keith Malpas, Will Folger, George Grice, who he lost at Cascades on the opening lap, and Stephen Wright 23rd. But an absolute barnstormer of a Yokohama Low-Cost Championship race. Can't wait to catch up with the winner and the narrowly not winner, Jack Linus, slipping by those 0.03 of a second to Lewis Ward, and Tortulla may have some stories to tell as well.
Thank you very much. Yes, as you can see, the rain down here is absolutely terrible. You see Tortulla there having a massive celebration with one of his mechanics. Will he jump in with Lewis Ward? Lewis, Jesus, that was close.
Yeah, what a race. Yeah, I thought I blew it, to be honest, after a poor start on the initial start. And then I think the red flag possibly helped me, gave me another chance, got a much better start the second time around. But yeah, these guys were all over me right to the end.
Obviously, you and Jack switching around the entire around the last lap as well. That was absolutely spectacular racing. Obviously, leaving each other just enough racing room, but it's obviously good that you can have a battle like that and know that you can come out the other side unscathed.
Exactly, yeah. I've got a lot of respect for Jack. Very good driver, very smooth, and very clean. It's nice to race against somebody who's not bumping into you and stuff. So, yeah, really nice, really good. What a race. If I can just quickly say thank you to Premier Wheels, my sponsors, Hayden Electrical, who also sponsor me, friends and family that have stuck it out in the rain today that have come to watch, and the marshals as well. They're all out here in the rain, and if it wasn't for them, we couldn't race. So thank you all.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Let's have a quick chat with Jack Linus. Jack, again, That was so close. That was absolutely incredible racing. But I don't know what it was on the. Actually, I've got it here. 0.03 on the line.
Okay, yeah, it was half a car length. It was I almost had up beside him, but yeah, I just didn't get quite the run that I was hoping for out the last corner. But yeah, gave me my best shot.
And obviously, you know, with Lewis going a little bit wide at I think it was Druids that he went sort of side by side at. I think was that right? I can't remember.
Yeah,
anyway,
going down the hill into the chicane, I closed in a lot on him, and I'd sort of gained a lot on the first half of the lap, I guess. And then I got a better run up the hill, so I just thought I stick to inside and hope it grips. And yeah, it just about held on, but he got a better line out of Druids. So yeah, it all came down to the last corner, which was very exciting. I didn't think I was going to be there sort of a lap before because there was a good sort of couple of car lengths gap to us, and I can't see a thing behind him. So it was great. Yeah, great fun.
Obviously, still got one more race later today. So take two. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm starting a bit further back. Qualifying didn't quite go as well, but yeah, I'll see what I can do and see how quickly I can come through.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you very much. Now, one of the big moves in the race was Thor Tuller. Thor, that was, again, an incredible race. Obviously, you couldn't quite just get you into the there we go. Couldn't quite get obviously with these two, but you had one heck of a race yourself.
Thank you so much. It was the second restart wasn't really great. I think I fell to 7th or 8th, but yeah, I just really got lucky, and I'm really happy to be here.
And obviously, you know, it's difficult conditions, not easy to drive in at all. You got the fastest lap of the race, and you closed in on the leaders as well. So it was one heck of a drive. So you must have enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, fastest lap. Oh well, I'm pretty chuffed with that. Yeah, it was just a really good race with Jake Sturt, and yeah, he's aggressive, but he's fair. So yeah, it was a great bit of fun. Yeah.
And what do you reckon for the race later on? Do you reckon you might be able to do one or two better?
Well, I'm starting second, so I'm hoping one better, two better, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing it then. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you very much. All right. So that is all of the sprint races out of the way before we've got the endurance race now. So we've still got sprint races afterwards, but we've got now a 1 hour and 40 minutes enduro for you all to enjoy. So back up to comms, we'll go through the grid.